I want to talk about Nintendo real quick because this is surprising and this is something you don't see often. Nintendo's actually selling the Switch 2 at a loss.
Yeah, that's true.
That is interesting because that hasn't been their business model really ever. I think
For
they
17, 19 million hardware sales, we just no different than the ponies. That's all it is. And that's why Nintendo hasn't completely abandoned the cross-generation strategy. Matter of fact, even the games that they have quote-unquote Switch 2 exclusive don't even look like games that could be on the Switch 2. They look like games that could have dropped on the Switch 1 if they really wanted to. The Yoshi, the Splatoon Raiders. Now, we can't argue about the quality of these games, but at the end of the day, Nintendo is most definitely not pushing the envelope in regards to the Switch 2 hardware. What about that Starfox 64 games? That was honestly, that Disney Pixar looking garbage, man. Fox looking like he on drugs. Okay, the frog don't even look right, man. It just don't have that Nintendo art style that I was expecting from this remake. I mean, the stages look good, but the cutscenes look horrible, in my opinion. And you Nintendo fanboys are glazing it. Gonna be paying $60 for a remake. And the funny thing is, didn't they already do that for the 3DS? Y'all like, damn, games, you right. Star Fox 64 3DS. Then you got it again. I told you guys, Nintendo is just the new PlayStation. So when y'all out here bashing PlayStation for remastering, remaking games, understand that Nintendo is doing practically the same thing. It's embarrassing. Just admit that you don't have any ideas anymore, guys. Just admit it already.
there was only one occasion where they sold their console at cost. I think it was maybe the Wii U. But normally, Nintendo refrains from selling hardware at a loss and then make it back over software sales. They always sold their hardware for profit, and everything else is profitable.
This also goes to show you that Nintendo will be pushing towards mobile gaming in the foreseeable future. So you guys don't want to see the writing on the wall. You don't want to see it. Matter of fact, I've been playing Wild Hearts on my Switch too. I've been loving it thanks to the Japanese, though, for saving that game. Because ain't nobody else playing it but the Japanese, though. And I've been loving it on my Switch too. But like I said, man, Star Fox 64 is looking bad. But you have a lot of nerve talking about Nintendo Switch 2 price hike, considering that you got a $900 PS5 Pro in your home. Practically $1,000 console, because we know you need your physical media, baby. So we already know you picked up that disc drive. So we're going to just add $1,000 and some change to what you picked up. You got ponies out here crying and complaining about Nintendo Switch 2 price hikes. Well, what about the price hikes going on your own damn platform?
Even their games, barely do they get discounted. They always make massive profits off their products, except for the Switch 2. And apparently, the shareholders are not happy.
Told y'all. Who called it before anybody? Games to one another. He's actually right, though. This is genuine. It's crazy that I'm actually agreeing with a video that Puertorock made. Now, mind you, there's going to be probably something later on where I'm going to disagree with, but he's right. I've told you guys, they're not getting any more people to the ecosystem. The people that was already subscribed to Nintendo Online were already subscribed when they went over to the Switch 2. The lack of sales for games like Mario, was it Mario Tennis, Metroid Prime 4? I mean, some of these games, like I said, luckily Nintendo only funds, they don't put that much money in their games. So even if a game walks up with $1 million, it's considered a success in Nintendo's eyes. But it's obviously not grabbing the masses that Nintendo thought. It's starting to think that when Nintendo was developing Metroid Prime 4, the only reason why they kept delaying it because they wanted to make sure that the game had enough hardware sales for the game to sell, and it still could even eclipse $1 million. I mean, if you really think about it from the perspective of the Switch 2, the software sales is at an all-time low. It is. Mario Kart World was bundled. You cannot even use that game. Don't even use it. Mario Kart 8 was not bundled, and it sold 80 million on the Switch 1. This game was bundled, okay? Get that through your thick numbskull heads, okay? Your little Nintendo heads. That game was bundled. All right, Mario Kart 8 wasn't. I think they had a few bundles, but the vast majority of people went out there and bought the game. People are buying less games now, man. And as time goes on, it's going to be far worse than what you're seeing now. Everybody's being impacted by this. So for people to make it's console, y'all not seeing the writing on the wall. You see, you're not. Because even though Nintendo's doing well, they got the foundation of a good console, but they're not making the same money like they used to. And they will never make it The Nintendo Switch 1 is practically the PlayStation 2 of all portable devices. It's never going to be surpassed.
Check this out. Nintendo under pressure to raise Switch 2 console price, as hardware currently sold at a loss.
Yep.
Nintendo is reportedly facing pressure to raise...
I told y'all they were losing money on this. I told y'all from the very beginning that Nintendo was losing money and they would take it. This is actually facts. This is legitimate. So whatever he's bringing up to you guys' attention is actually facts, because I brought it up when the Switch 2 even came out. Now we're finding out that everything that it's like, bro, why don't y'all listen to me, man? I be right every single time, and you guys get mad. Oh, you're just hating. You're not a Nintendo fan. You're just hating. All this just to find out that I'm right like 6 to 8 months later. Just like with the whole Halo campaign evolved, the Halo 3 campaign. You guys don't listen to me. That's what I find is so funny. But it's okay. Please don't listen to me, because I love saying games to one another W, baby. I love it. Because that's the only reason I'm getting the W, because you automatically assume that Gamester and what he's saying is wrong. Poor little dinosaur.
They're just not going to upgrade.
Mm-hmm.
You know, doesn't mean they're necessarily going to buy a PlayStation 5 or Series X or anything like that. They're just going to stay on their Switch 1 longer.
Yeah.
And
I think Nintendo is trying to find ways to, deviate those Switch 1 owners by making Splatoon Raiders. I mean, to be honest, it looked like it was a cross-generation title, and that's what I'm saying. The Switch 2 just does not have that wow factor that the Switch 1 did. It just doesn't. It really just doesn't, man. And for all you people saying, well, it sold really good. Yeah, because the Switch 2 fanboys. That's why. Most people bought into it thinking it was going to be the Switch 1. No different than the PS1 going to PS2. Of course they're going to be looking forward to Nintendo's latest and greatest product. Going from the DS to the 3DS. The DS was awesome, so they figured, the 3DS... Well, the 3DS actually had problems initially until they actually lowered the price to get people to buy it. So, matter of fact, I was actually wrong in that statement, because the 3DS people... But the hype was still there for it. It's just, like I said, there was a few things that people didn't like. You see, back then, people used to stand their ground on things, and now that's something that people don't do anymore, unfortunately.
And Nintendo, a lot of their games are not going to be cross-gen.
I mean, the vast majority, Tamagotchi Life, Metroid Prime 4, a lot of their games have been cross-gen.
You see things just going down. Like, it's a bad position for Nintendo. It's a bad position for almost any game company that produces hardware. Like they all got to come up with a way to find a way, maybe with the next. See, I know I'm skipping something. Nintendo's really screwed, because this is their new hardware.
Hold on, what?
So this is it. They're stuck with it.
Nintendo's screwed. PlayStation's screwed. Nobody likes your games. What are you talking about? Nintendo is screwed? What are you talking about? The only thing keeping your system alive is third party, brother. At least if Nintendo goes mobile, at least Nintendo will still be able to exist. If Nintendo goes PC, they will still be able to exist. You can't exist on Xbox because nobody likes your games. You can't exist on PC and Steam because nobody likes your games. You can't even exist even on your own platform because nobody buys your own exclusive games. You're the one that's in trouble, not Nintendo. Nintendo goes mobile today, they will be probably way more successful than they've ever been without the hardware. You, on the other hand, you need them third-party games. That's why Jim Ryan was crying on the FTC case, because he realized that if Call of Duty was pulled off PlayStation, that'd be the end of your company. That's how sad PlayStation is, that you are so dependent on third-party, not exclusive games to keep your platform together. Your little 30% microtransaction tax fees.
So if the components keep getting more expensive and shareholders are not happy, stocks are going down, which is not good, right? Because when stocks go down,
all right, armchair
the
CEO.
budget for games and stuff like that gets cut. So, yeah, and if Nintendo keeps selling at a loss, that means all their game sales, a portion of it has to make up the loss when they didn't operate.
Well, which is low-budget games. That's why we're getting these Starfox 64 remakes. Hearing about a Legend of Zelda. This is ridiculous, man. At this point, this is why people are just checking out, bro. This is why people's like, I don't care about this hobby no more. You know what I'm saying? Party like it's 1999 again, huh?
That way. Switch 1, I would say, really made Nintendo, what's the word? When you're just enjoying everything like everything's just good. Like everything's just going good, right?
Sounds like PlayStation.
So they're getting great profit off of the Nintendo Switch 1. They're making profit right off the bat off their games and accessories.
Which means that they don't have to do anything. There you go. You're explaining PlayStation 5 to the T.
But now,
what's the but?
Their console, they're losing money. So whatever profit they make off their games, a portion of it first has to cover the loss. Right?
You know what's losing money? Marathon.
Back. So you're not maximizing the software profit that Nintendo normally would have. So, man, everybody's talking about PlayStation, when they raise their price, right? And Microphone. But Nintendo's in the picture. And I think they will raise the price. You can only fight shareholders for so long.
So that just goes to show you that gaming companies have no control and the shareholders pull all the strings. There you go. Gaming is already done. Like I've told you guys, I'm tired of saying this. Everybody, get your retro games up, man. I've told y'all this, man. Get them up. Get them before it's too late. You guys are still messing around thinking that these corporations give a damn about you, when in reality, all they're trying to do is appease their shareholders.
You can only, right? Because if the shareholders are not happy, they'll just sell their stock. And the more they sell, the worse the value of the stock gets. So you can only fight shareholders for so long. Nintendo's trying, and kudos to them. Kudos to them for fighting the good fight, trying to keep the Switch 2 to at least some type of price point that people are willing to pay for, $450. Still high.
Which to a lot of people is still high. Yeah, there you go.
For a Switch, but the people who are buying it have no problem with it. But once you crack
I think they do. Because the engagement of the Switch 2 is very low. I think a lot of people do have a problem with the Switch 2. Matter of fact, most of my friends don't even play exclusives on it. They're playing third party. I'm keeping it 100. Even I play more third party. I'm like, what? I thought you probably didn't. I buy consoles for the overall. I don't look at a console and say, I'm buying it for this exclusive. I'm buying it for Donkey Kong. I don't look at it that. I look at it the overall. I'm a gamer. I play all types of games. When I look at there might be particular games that I like, but don't get it twisted. You think if somebody told me, Gamester, all the games on Xbox is bad, okay, but they got Gears E-Day, I would not buy the Xbox. I need good games from all third party, whatever exclusive time. I don't care if anybody else plays it, but first party from their company. I'm a variety gamer. Okay, if you're telling me, I pick up the Switch 2 for exclusives, then to me that's not a good platform, because a good platform has good third party, good first party software, good everything. You feel me? I don't pick up a system just for exclusives. I pick up a system for a vast majority of games. It's just like with the new Xbox PC. When people say, why are you looking forward to? Because I'm getting access to good old games. I'm getting access to Steam. I'm getting access to even my existing Xbox library. There's more going into that purchase than me saying, buy a PS6 and play a bunch of cross-generation games that I could already do on my PS5. See, you guys think it's fanboy talk, but in reality, there's actually merit as to what I'm saying. I don't want a system that is locked down. I mean, we've been playing lockdown systems for so long, and I'd rather just, at this point, go to Xbox PC route. Since that's where gaming is going anyway.
$550. I mean, $550 for a Switch 2, that's tough. That's rough.
And, $900 for a PS5 Pro with no disc drive is pretty rough, too.
Well, let me know
I mean, at least I can get at least if I get a Switch 2, I can also get a Series S. I can get two consoles for the price of the one Pro, but let's not talk about that. This is about Nintendo. This ain't about Sony. I'm sorry.
What you think? Have you?
All right, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Man, I'm gonna show you what I think by closing out this video. Make sure I'm gonna put the video recommendations right in there with his Yankees hat. All right, just to let you guys know that this is ridiculous. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Like I said, take care. Hopefully this Porter Roach goes right back underneath the carpet where he belongs. Take care.